Hello, this is Miss Diane from Finkelstein Memorial Library in Spring Valley, and today we are going to do some Zentangle. So, supplies. First you'll need, well, specifically, we're going to be making Zentangle bookmarks. So you'll need some cardstock or drawing paper cut into strips for bookmarks, approximately the size. And you'll need a ultra fine point Sharpie or other fine point felt tip marker or pen. So that should work. And that's all you need. Now, when you are getting ready to do your Zentangle, you're going to keep in mind the certain patterns that you would like to use. I find it helpful to look at patterns first and have a little cheat sheet ready so that while I'm doing my Zentangles, I have a little reference guide. I'm a beginner, so if you're a beginner like me, this is pretty handy to know. So for example, each one of these gives you the next step that you should do, and this over here is the final pattern and the way it should look. All right, so we're gonna get started. Okay, so because we're using a nice small little bookmark, I like to put mine down on a larger piece of paper because when we're making swooping little arcs, that way you don't mark up your table underneath. So we're going to show you how to do something a little bit like this one. So this has about 6 different designs on it. You can have fun with yours. And I've just eyeballed it. So we're going to start with making some swoops, and that will tell us where our patterns are going to be. So this is very freeform. Okay, let's try one more. Okay, so we have now some irregular patterns that we can start making some tangles with. Okay, now most of the time Zentangle is black and white. It does not have to be. This marker is actually navy blue, but I've also seen some lovely Zentangles in rainbow colors, so it's up to you. Although if you do black and white or a dark color, you can color it in, and that's also very fun. Okay, so let's look at our pattern reference guide. And we're going to try a nice easy one, number 4. And I'm gonna put the easy pattern in the largest one so that you can see it nice and easy. So I'm going to start off with a squiggle, and then I'm going to write another squiggle next to it so it's like a nice thick line, just like that. And then I'm going to make a few more squiggles, and I'm going to make them far apart because I see that I need to make a pattern out of them. They do not need to be perfect. They do need to reach the edge of the page, so make sure you have that extra page underneath you. Okay, so now all we have to do is make our little crisscrosses. So we're going to start with 1, and these swoop up a little bit. And we're going to do this all the way down. Should look a little bit like the belly of a snake. Okay, so on our next pattern right next to it, we're going to make these swoop upside down. Now your pattern will look better if you do try to match up these lines on the other side. So it looks like one continuous pattern with this other squiggle breaking it up in between. Oop. Okay, we're almost there. And then again, on this other side, we're going to do this again. And this time we're going to swoop back up. And we're going to try to match these lines on the other side of that squiggle. Oh, this little guy over here in the corner. Okay, so on here, you can see is the same pattern, but I've colored the lines in dark because I thought they looked nice that way. But it's your tangle and you can do it however you like. All right, so our next pattern we're gonna put right next to this one, right over here. And it's okay that these two completely different patterns butt up against each other. In fact, that's what makes Zentangle interesting. So let's try our bubble one. So we're gonna start with a large bubble, a smaller bubble near it, and then we're just gonna fill in some random bubbles in some random sizes. Okay, and now we're gonna take some swoopy lines, but we're gonna make sure that where they end up near the bubbles, we're going to put the lines behind the bubbles. So it looks like they're passing behind it. You can make these lines as close together as you like, or farther apart. It's up to you. Okay. All right, so we have a couple of tangles. We're gonna do this one up here, one more, and we're gonna put this one right down here. Again, you can lay your patterns out however you like. So this is also a nice easy one. We're gonna start off with one crisscross, and then we're going to add another crisscross, so we get a little star pattern right in the center. And then in each one of these little sections we're going to put a little triangle, making sure that the lines don't touch and that we leave enough space for our next and final triangle. Okay, so for the last triangle, this one we're going to color in. Now, if you are in possession of two Sharpie markers, this is where it's very handy if you have a secondary Sharpie marker that's not an ultra fine point, but just a fine point. Because filling in the larger parts is so much easier if you have a larger marker. Okay, we are almost done with this pattern. Now we're not going to do this entire bookmark because doing this can be very time consuming. But this is what it should look like. Okay, so the finished product was this one over here. You can find hundreds of more patterns online, or you can create your own. There's no rules. Have fun. And what's fun is you can also, if you don't like the swooping patterns all next to each other, you can even fill in your own shape. So here I just drew some simple freehand hearts and I put a different pattern inside each heart. Or you can do like this one down here and mix and match patterns inside a larger heart. Okay, so I hope you have fun with your Zentangle bookmarks. In your summer reading starter kit, you will find one blank bookmark, and a fine point pen. So I hope you have fun with these and enjoy.